Presentation.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, COL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Game 2 of the three-game series with the Rockies. It'll also be the fourth meeting of the year between the two teams. The Rockies hold a slight edge, 2-1. Two streaks on the line. Rockies have lost 2 in a row. Dodgers have won 2 in a row. The Rockies will start right-hander Clay Mortensen, whom the Dodgers have never seen. He's 1-2 with the league. Dodgers counter with Ted Lilly, and by the way, the Rockies are 9-7 against left-hand starters this year. The Rockies have come back to the Dodgers. Remember, they were 11-2 at the start of the year. They've hit the skids quite a bit, and they are now just one game in front of the Dodgers, trailing Arizona by 4.5, the Dodgers 5.5. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. can get anything on the menu any time of the day. And by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers home at Dodger Stadium, running out of a homestand. Tomorrow night will be the final game before they hit the road again. And tonight, it's Game 2 for Don Mattingly, challenging Jim Tracy and the Colorado Rockies. For the Dodgers, having won 2 straight, the Rockies have lost 2 in a row. The Dodgers 5.5 back, and for the Rockies 4.5 back. But for the Rockies, they have to be thrilled to get out of the month of May, because in the month of May right now, for Colorado, they have won 8 games and lost 20. The one salvation for them, they're 9-7 against a left-hander. They now have 16 consecutive games against Western Division teams, but they're facing one of the toughest in the division, because over the years, the Dodgers have beaten Colorado a little bit better than 2-1 here at Dodger Stadium, 57 as opposed to 28. Here's the Rockies lineup. Eric Young opens up at second base. Dexter Fowler in center and Carlos Gonzalez in left. Troy Tulowitzki hits cleanup at short. Todd Helton at first base. Ty Wigginton, who played third base yesterday and homered, is in right field tonight. Chris Nelson, the rookie, is at third base. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. And Clay Mortensen on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, the left-handed Ted Lilly, the 35-year-old, had no decision last time out. And remember, it was like being hit by a bolt of lightning. The leadoff man, Michael Bourne, on the first pitch of the game, hit a home run. That was the only run that he allowed, but he had no decision. For Ted Lilly, he is 5-2 against Colorado. And with over 1,500 strikeouts in his career, he'll be facing Young, Fowler, and Gonzalez. Eric Young, of course, a familiar and famous name in baseball. His dad had a great career and stopped here, among others. EY, the same nickname as his dad, hitting .316, a switch hitter, batting .600 right-handed as he looks at a curveball low, ball 1. Of course, he's only had 5 at-bats, and he's 3 for 5 from this side of the plate. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Lilly delivers, and a high fly ball down the left field line. Racing over to the track, reaching up is Jerry Sands, and catches it about 5 feet from the box seats. So Lilly was not hit by lightning, but it was close. For the Dodgers, here the way they set up: Sands, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. Blake, Carroll, Miles, and Loney, and the battery of Navarro handling Lilly. Beautiful evening, 67 degrees on this 31st of May. So here is Dexter Fowler. Fowler, a switch hitter, batting right-handed, hitting .246, and he looks at a fastball strike outside corner at the knees. Dexter with 18 runs batted in. He runs very well, although he's not been as successful as a base runner as you might imagine. The strike 1 pitch on the way is high. Fowler has stolen 2, but he's been caught 6 times. But he does have a lot of speed, which is very necessary to play center field, especially in Colorado. The 1-1 pitch to Dexter, little ground ball wide to third. Nice pick there, and the play to first in time. So we have 2 down in the first inning. Casey Blake handling that ground ball. And now the batter will be Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, coming into this series in his last 11 games against the Dodgers, had scored 14 and knocked in 11. However, in the first inning yesterday, and maybe it was an ominous sign for Colorado, he tried to score from second on a base hit and was nailed. So here's Cargo, as they call him, checking in. Multi-talented left-hand hitter, and takes low, ball 1. Gonzalez, 8 home runs, 33 runs batted in. In looking at the pitching against hitters, and we'll check Ted Lilly, Gonzalez is 4 for 6 with 3 home runs against him. Gonzo takes low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. So, boy, that's some set of numbers. 4 for 6, 3 home runs, 4 runs batted in against Ted Lilly. 2 out, first inning, bases empty. The 2-0 pitch on the way. Lilly works a strike, and the count 2-1. Carlos hitting .224 against left-handers and .278 against right-handers. The 2-1 pitch, Lilly into the windup. Ted ready, and here he comes. Fastball, broken bat, ground ball to the right side, and a routine out. And that broken bat went right over the head of Ted Lilly. So 1-2-3 for the Rockies, and at the end of half an inning, Colorado nothing. Dodgers coming up. The Rockies 1-2-3. Now here are the way the Dodgers will be coming up. Jamie Carroll at short, Casey Blake at third. Then you have Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, James Loney, Gary Sands in left. Deanna Navarro is the catcher. Aaron Miles at second, and Ted Lilly on the mound. On the mound for Colorado, Clay Mortensen with a record of 1-2. No record against the Dodgers. And despite a 1-2 record, a fine earned run average of 2.8. In scraping the cream off the top of all the stats about Clay Mortensen, we can tell you a little bit about him. He works a strike, 0-1. Left-hand hitters are batting 171 against him. Right-handers are hitting 203. Tall, skinny right-hander, 6'4", 180. Back he comes, and there's a hard ground ball foul outside of third down the line. That will give us time to tell you the Cardinals have just scored 3 in the 8th inning, and they take the lead 4-3 over the Giants in the 8th. It took Chris Carpenter off the hook. You know, Carpenter 1-5 this year for St. Louis. Meanwhile, the hottest team, the Diamondbacks, last night Justin Upton had a 5-hit game, and his first at bat tonight he homered. So the Diamondbacks are leading the Marlins 1-0 in the third. That's Anibal Sanchez and Ian Kennedy, 2 of the top pitchers in the league. Strike 2 pitch is taken low, ball 1. Sanchez is 4-1 and Kennedy 6-1. Remember, Arizona has won 7 straight, 13 out of 14, and 15 out of 17. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Punched foul off to the right, second level. Still 1-2 the count to Jamie Carroll, hitting .297 with 4 runs batted in. Clay Mortensen, when he has 2 strikes on a hitter, he's allowed only 4 hits. So let's see what happens here. And it's popped in the air, foul and out of play. So with 2 strikes on the hitter, the hitters are hitting .087 against him this year. Because when you look at so many of those numbers, you think, well, how in the world can he be 1-2? Clay, born in Spokane, Washington, went to Gonzaga University. 26 years old, over the top, misses inside, and they count 2-2. Originally, the Cardinals chose him, and he came as compensation when Jeff Suppan left St. Louis and signed with the Brewers. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Mortensen ready. Here he comes, and just misses inside. Ball 3. Mortensen went from the A's to the Cardinals in the Matt Holliday deal. Fastball, slider, changeup, and last year he worked on a curve. Back with a fastball, whack to center, but Fowler is right there, and it finds his glove for the out. So one away here in the first inning, and the batter will be Casey Blake. Casey returning to the Wars, and you might wonder about Carroll playing shortstop. And as Don Mattingly was saying before the game, Rafael Furcal has played 9 out of 10, and he wanted to give him a breather. Casey takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Furcal gets the rest, then he'll be playing Wednesday. Dodgers go out on the road. They're off Thursday, and he'll be in there Friday night against Cincinnati. Blake takes low, 1 ball and 1 strike, the count. Arizona struggling on the road. In fact, struggling is an understatement. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's off the plate. They are 12-13 on the road, but more importantly, the Rockies have lost 10 of the last 12 road games. Blake waiting with Andre Ethier on deck. 2-1 the count to Casey, batting .303. Mortensen, string bean right-hander, comes over the top. Good fastball swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. One of the things that Mortensen has done is to move on the rubber. He used to pitch from the first base side of the rubber, and the pitching coach Bob Apodaca moved him to the third base side of the rubber. He misses low and inside. He go 3-2. So he went 3-2 on 2 hitters. Another thing, by moving over there to the other side of the rubber, he does not tilt towards first base. He was doing that a lot, so that's why he is where he is. 3-2 pitch is off the plate for ball 4. So he went 3-2 to Carroll and got him. 3-2 to Blake and walked him. And now here is Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier is just wearing out all the right-hand pitchers in the league. He's hitting .388 against right-hand pitching. So that gives him a .330 batting average, because against left-handers he's hitting only .200. So here's Andre with Blake at first, 1 out, first inning, no score. Martinson ready, and deals, and Clay is low and away. Ball 1, 1-0. Mortensen gets a lot of ground balls. He doesn't overpower hitters. He has a pretty good sinker, they say. 2-seamer that he can get anywhere from 87 to about 92 or 3. 1 ball and no strikes to Andre Ethier. Outfield very deep and fanned out straight away. Andre swings on a check swing, grounds to first, and they're going to get a force play at second, and that'll be that. So Ethier hits to Helton, who throws to Tulowitzki. 2 down, and Matt Kemp coming up. Play going 3-6 if you're scoring. Matt Kemp, who made that dazzling throw in the first inning, which I must admit amazes me. We've talked about it before. In the old days, not only did they take infield, which they rarely do now, but they always took outfield. Outfielders would handle usually ground balls, and then if you're anywhere out there, you throw to second, you throw to third, you throw home. So when the game started, you were thoroughly warmed up. Well, the modern day outfielder doesn't warm up at all, really. And yet Matt made that tremendous throw in the first inning yesterday. So Kemp checks in, hitting .308. Swings, tries to golf it, doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. No score, bottom of the first inning, game 2 of the 3-game series. Matt in and out of the box with James Loney on deck and Casey Blake. having been forced, and Andre Ethier now the runner at first. 0-1 the count to Matt Kemp. Mortensen ready. Clay comes back, and this one is a little low. As we mentioned last night, you've heard of Angels in the outfield. It was a wonderful baseball movie. We have Angels on the infield in this series. The plate umpire is Angel Hernandez. The first base umpire is Angel Campos, and then Chad Fairchild and Joe West. The 1-1 pitch to Matt Kemp. Right-hander ready and delivers, and he's low again. So he's making a lot of pitches, 19 already, by going 3-2 to Carroll, 3-2 to Blake. Ethier helped out by hitting the ground ball immediately, but now here's Kemp with a 2-1 count. So Mortensen hiding the ball back of his right hip as he looks in to get a sign from Ionetta. Now the right-hander set, and his 2-1 pitch to Matt Kemp. Ethier holding his ground, and Kemp meanwhile hits a drive into deep right center, and this baby's got it all. It is gone into the bleachers and right, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. And I'll give you an interesting note about Kemp. He now has 13 home runs. 9 of the 13 home runs have come in his first at bat against the pitcher. Well, Matt is indeed a power to be reckoned with, and the Dodgers lead 2-0 here in the first inning. Ty Wigginton knew as soon as the ball was hit, he was just looking up there to see how far it would go. So for Matt Kemp, with everything else that he does, 13 home runs, 38 RBIs, and remember, he also has 14 stolen bases. So the batter now is James Loney, and he hesitates and takes low, ball 1-0. So Matt Kemp, who certainly is a 5-tool player, and he has showed it all. 1 ball and no strikes. The next one to Loney is off the plate. So that's the problem with Mortensen, making too many pitches behind, and sooner or later you're going to be punished. And he was behind to Kemp 2-1 when Matt hit it out. The 2-0 pitch on the way to Loney. That's taken for a high strike up around the letters, and the count 2-1. James hitting .249, 3 home runs, 18 runs batted in. But he has really perked up for over the last 3 weeks. He's hit .333 since the end of April. He hits a drive to right, but it's playable. Wigginton is there, and that's that. So the walk followed by the force play, followed by Kemp home run. And at the end of an inning, Dodgers 2, Rockies nothing. First inning, made 24 pitches, and the Dodgers produced 2 runs on the 2-run home run by Matt Kemp, who was certainly ahead of his schedule with 13 home runs on May 31st. Last year he hit his 13th on June 30th. Now the first pitch is hit foul off to the right out of play as Troy Tulowitzki checks in. Then it'll be Todd Helton followed by Ty Wigginton. Tulowitzki had 2 hits in 5 at-bats yesterday. Had a first inning base hit, looked like an RBI, and that's when Kemp threw Gonzalez out of the plate. Troy hitting .250. The right hand hitting shortstop out in front fouls it back, and the count 0-2. So Troy kind of leaning on his front foot, so he was badly fooled on the pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. The boy from Sunnyvale up north went to school here at Long Beach State. Tulowitzki certainly an all-star. Troy waiting, and the strike 2 pitch on the way. Lilly delivers and bounces a fastball, and the count 1-2. Troy Tulowitzki with his 11 home runs for Jim Tracy. He also has had 22 extra base hits. Troy back up and waiting. 1-2 the count. Lilly into the windup. 1-2 pitch on the way. Low again. Ball 2. Tulowitzki, Jose Reyes, Hanley Ramirez, all battling for the All-Star, but it figures that Tulo will certainly be there. He's the second player in Major League Baseball since 1920 to have the numbers he's put up. Got off to a tremendous start. 2-2 pitch to Troy. He takes a look at a curveball. Strike 3 call. Tulowitzki appealing to Angel Hernandez, and Hernandez barking right back at him as Troy walks away. So down goes Tulowitzki looking at the curve, and we have 1 away. Lilly just bends it, and Tulo thought it was below the knees. Angel Hernandez said no. So 1 away, and the batter will be Todd Helton, and the veteran first baseman takes a strike. Helton just keeps rolling along. Todd hitting .315. All he did yesterday is have 3 singles and a walk. Of course, yesterday was a nightmare for the Rockies, and not just because they lost. Strike 1 pitch, slow breaking ball low, 1-1. From the 2nd inning through the 8th, 7 innings. The leadoff man for the Rockies got aboard, 6 for 6 in hits and a walk, and those following were 4 for 22. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, 1-2. For the Rockies yesterday, getting 14 hits and 2 walks and managing 1 run and a home run. That was really a thoroughly forgettable game for them, and certainly one in the memory book for Chad Billingsley. 1-2 pitch got the inside corner with a breaking ball, and Helton is caught looking, and he walks away. So strikeouts to Tulowitzki and Helton, and that breaking ball just ran in there. And down comes Ty Wigginton now with 2 out, bases empty. 2nd inning with the Dodgers leading the Rockies 2-0. Wigginton homered yesterday, is 4th. Ty hitting .259. 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Right hand hitter waiting, and the fastball swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. Wigginton has been around long enough and has been successful enough to have over 1,000 career hits, and it figured that 1,000th hit would be a home run. Strike 1 pitch on the way to Ty, swung on and missed as he staggers out in front of the plate. 0-2. The Wigginton back up and waiting. Todd Helton, who took his strikeout and just walked away looking on, and the strike 2 pitch is taken low, ball 1, 1-2. To have 1,000 hits, where does that put you? Well, you become the 1,201st player 1,201 to have 1,000 hits. 1-2 to Ty Wigginton. Here comes Lilly over the top, snaps a fastball low and inside. 2-2 the count. Ted made 9 pitches in the first inning. It's taken him 13 pitches so far to dispose of Tulowitzki and Helton. Now the left-hander comes right back. 2-2, and it's swung on and popped up. Coming in for it and calling would be the second baseman Aaron Miles, and that will be that. 6 in a row retired by Lilly, and as he walks off, he's leading 2-0. In the second inning, he's leading 2-0, and Jerry Sands leads off the bottom of the second inning and fouls it back 0-1. Jerry hitting .221. He has 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in. He's played first base and left field for the Dodgers, and the strike one pitch is swung on and lifted to left center. Cruising over is Gonzalez and Fowler, and it's Cargo making the catch for the out. So Sands fly ball to left, 1 down, and Deanna Navarro coming up.
Dodger catcher, number 30.
Navarro switch hitter, and he will check in left-handed against the right-hand pitcher. He's hitting .235 against right-handers and getting a start to rest Rod Barajas. Rod struggling against righties, hitting about 180. So Navarro is in there with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, takes a high strike, 0-1 the count. Final score in St. Louis: the Cardinals 4 and the Giants 3. Giants led comfortably until the 8th inning, and the pitch outside in the 8th. Cardinals scored 3. Fernando Salas came in to save it, and Skip Schumacher had an infield single with a headlong dive into first base, and the winning run scored. The pitch to Navarro puts him ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. So 1 away. Second inning, twilight time in Los Angeles, and it is a beautiful end of the day. Mortensen into the windup, comes back high. So he's struggling with his control. Let's see what he did coming into this game. 21 strikeouts, 15 walks. So a fine ERA of 2.8. The 3-1 pitch on the way, and Navarro fouls it off to the left out of play, 3-2. Remember when the game started, Mortensen went 3-2 on Carroll, 3-2 on Blake. Ethier hit into a force play on the first pitch, and Kemp came up and hit a 2-1 pitch for a home run. So 3-2, the third 3-2 count. and Navarro waiting with Miles on deck. Right-hander ready. Here he comes. Swung on and fouled. No, not fouled. The ball apparently is live, and we have no indication. Navarro ran down to first, and I guess it was foul after all, but he didn't know it. And if he doesn't know it, I don't know it. Oh, Navarro is coming back to home plate. We could hear a sound. It was the ball hitting the mask of Iannetta. So Navarro comes back. 3-2 the count with 1 out. Dodgers lead 2-0 on the home run by Matt Kemp. Again, rather interesting. 9 of his 13 home runs have come in his first at bat against the visiting pitcher. 3-2 fastball is low, and so Mortensen loses another one. That's his second walk. You know, a reminder, every Friday night home game at Dodger Stadium is Friday night fireworks presented by Pizza Hut, and all fans invited onto the field after the game to enjoy the show. The next fireworks night, June 17th. For tickets, call 866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com/promotion. So here's Aaron Miles, switch hitter, batting left-handed, hitting .267. Mortensen ready. Clay comes to his hitter, low and inside. Nice effort by Iannetta. So 1 out, Navarro at first, and a 1-ball, no strike count to Aaron Miles. Aaron checking with Tim Wallach. Miles, among other things, likes to bunt, and Nelson pretty deep at third base. 1 out, and the pitcher on deck. The 1-0 pitch, and that's a strike, and the count 1-1. And again, Miles backs away to see if there might be a play. By the way, the pitchers tonight have not been handy with the bat. Mortensen is 0 for 10 with the bat, and Lilly is 0 for 19. 1-1 the count to Aaron Miles. 2-0 Dodgers, second inning. Mortensen ready, looks over at first, then turns and goes over there, and Navarro back on the bag. The outfield split a bit, shaded towards left center. Miles, a spray hitter anyway. Aaron, as a left-handed batter, is hitting .226, but in limited at bats right-handed, he's been doing very well, hitting .419. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Miles swings a one-hopper backhanded by Tulo. They get one. It's going to be turned by Eric Young in time for the double play. So no runs, no hits, nobody left, and at the end of 2-0 Dodgers. by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Matt Kemp hit his 13th home run of the year in the first inning with Andre Ethier aboard. Dodgers lead 2-0 behind Ted Lilly. And we go to the third. Chris Nelson, Chris Iannetta, and then Clay Mortensen in that order. For Ted Lilly, he has made 23 pitches in 2 innings, striking out 2. Nelson, the right-hand batter, appeared in yesterday's ball game. He had a base hit, and the first pitch to Chris, and that's in there for a strike, 0-1. Nelson was called up last year and electrified the crowd in attendance when he stole home to beat the Cincinnati Reds. So needless to say, he moves very well. He has a look at a pitch low, 1 ball and 1 strike. With a left-hander on the mound for the Dodgers, Seth Smith sits it out. 1-1 the count to Chris. The 1-1 pitch from Lilly right in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. Ted Lilly with a record of 3-4. He was 2-1 against the Rockies last year, and he is 5-2 lifetime. Ted ready and comes back 1-2, flips it low. 2 balls and 2 strikes they count. In looking at Lilly's work, usually the Dodgers do not score a lot of runs for him. Of course, the way things went the first month or so, they weren't scoring runs for anybody. And the 2-2 pitch is a little low, ball 3. 3-2. Lilly's last game, 6 innings, he made 79 pitches. He's only made 100 pitches once this year. 3-2 fastball fouled out of play. Against the Chicago White Sox, he went 7 innings and made 102 pitches. Outside of that, high would be 97. Ted looks, getting a sign, now to the windup. And his 3-2 pitch on the way is swung on and whacked into left field over the head of Jerry Sands. Bangs up against the bullpen gate. Nelson is into second base standing, and he just stung that thing for a leadoff double. So Nelson got a fastball, and he knew what to do with it. Sands never had a play except to retrieve. It hit the base of the bullpen gate. So a double for Nelson, with Iannetta, Mortensen, and Young trying to pick him up, with the Dodgers leading 2-0. Iannetta, the big catcher, struck out twice, flied out, and walked yesterday. Nelson at second, nobody out. 2-0 Dodgers in the third. And the fastball and at the knees for a strike. 0-1 the count. Chris Iannetta hitting .241, 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Big fella out of Providence, Rhode Island. Chris waiting, no balls and 1 strike. Now Lilly out of a stretch. Ted takes a quick look at Nelson, but no throw, but that sends Chris back in on his hands and knees. Of course, with Nelson and right-hand hitter with the left side of the infield back, and Nelson with the reputation of running very well, so the Dodgers certainly have to watch him. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Iannetta holds up and it's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Over in Arizona, with the bases loaded, Ian Kennedy walked the number 8 hitter, Emilio Bonifacio, that forced in a run. Then he fell behind, and there was an RBI ground out by the pitcher, Anibal Sanchez. So the Marlins are leading the D-backs 2-1 in the 4th inning as Iannetta takes a strike. 1-2 the count to Big Chris. Iannetta checks in at about 220. Went to school at the University of North Carolina. Nelson at second, nobody out. And the 1-2 pitch to Chris Iannetta. And there goes Nelson to third, and he steals it easily on a pitch that was in there for strike 3. What a jump Nelson had. There wasn't a thing that Navarro could do. But, of course, that brings up a nightmare for Ted Lilly. I think of all the pitchers, he's as easy to run on in the big leagues as any pitcher I've ever seen. The success rate against him is better than 81% in his year. Something like 155 stolen bases and only 36 caught. So Nelson, sure enough, stole third, but Iannetta was caught looking. And with one out, here's Mortensen, the pitcher. Stringbean looks at a pitch low, ball one. As we mentioned, Mortensen is 0 for 10, and he has struck out 7 times. So not much you can do with him as he looks down to Rich Dower, who's also talking. And remember, this guy Nelson stole home last year, so Lilly has to be very, very careful, especially with a pitcher up there. 2-0 Dodgers, top of the third. Mortensen, right-hand batter, gives you a big strike zone. Lilly very deliberate, comes to the plate, swing and a miss. 0-1, now 1-1. Well, would Jim Tracy put the squeeze on? It's pretty hard for a guy who has struck out 7 out of 10, has not sacrificed this year. But if it's going to happen, this would be the time with Eric Young on deck. 1-1 the count to Mortensen. Nelson short lead at third. Lilly ready, comes back, and the pitch swung on, popped up into shallow right. Miles out, Ethier in, Miles for the catch. Nelson's coming to the plate. The throw, he will score. I'm very, very surprised that Aaron Miles would make that catch. That's a bad play for an infielder with a runner at third, because Andre Ethier has the play in front of him and obviously has a better arm. However, Miles, a competitor, refused to quit, but that's not a good play. Not at all. So on a pop fly into right, there's Ethier ready to catch it on the run, but Miles makes the catch going away, and then his hurried throw is way offline, and Nelson scores. So the Rockies get a gift. It's Dodgers 2 and Rockies 1, and the leadoff man Eric Young at the plate. EY swings, pops it in the air, foul off first. Loney over to take a look, but no play. For the leadoff man, Chris Nelson, I guess the Rockies ought to give him a medal. He's the first leadoff man to score after, remember, they had 7 straight innings of leadoff men failing to score. The strike one pitch is taken off the plate. 1-1. So Mortensen, a pop fly to right, and not only does he make a key out, but he gets an RBI. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Check swing on a pitch high, but they look no swing, says Angel Campos, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. EY hitting 300. 2-1 in favor of the Dodgers. By the way, the Rockies have not been very lucky at all in 1-run games. 2-1 pitch fouled off. The Rockies have lost 12 and won 6 of 1-run games. The Dodgers have won 8 and lost 7. So the Rockies, as Jim would point out, started off 11-2, and had it not been for that 11-2, they would be more than just 3 games under 500. The pitch to EY is high, ball 3. Rockies 16 straight against the West. The Dodgers go out on the road and play the East. Among other things, 3 with the Phillies. Now the 3-2 pitch coming up. Swung on, hit towards center field, base hit. Over to get it, Matt Kemp. So Young comes up with a single, and the batter will be Dexter Fowler.
Batting next, center fielder, number 24.
So Lilly gave up the double, then the key stolen base, while Iannetta was striking out, and that stolen base was cashed in when Miles caught the ball that Ethier should have caught. There could also have been another play. It could very well be, maybe, that Miles thought that was the 3rd out. Anyway, here's Fowler. and Dexter takes the strike, and the count 0-1. We're in the third. Dodgers 2, Rockies 1. Fowler, Daddy Longlegs. Boy, he has the long legs. The old nickname of High Pockets would certainly fit him. The strike one pitch is instead a throw to first. Eric Young just called up recently, but he's 2 for 2 in stolen bases. And remember, with Ted Lilly out there, every runner is a possibility. Every one. Young off the bag, held on by Loney. Dexter Fowler waits. Lilly very deliberate. There goes Young. The pitch is high. The throw is even higher, and he's stolen it. So another stolen base against Ted Lilly. His record now 155 stolen bases against him and only 36 caught. That is a remarkable percentage success rate of 86%. That is staggering in the big leagues. And while trying to hold runners on, Ted also has 29 balks. Tying run at second with 2 out. The 1-1 pitch is instead a full turn and a look by Ted, and Young back to the bag. Having been burned once by Nelson, who stole third, he has to worry about Young. And Blake on the line and deep at third. 1-1 to Dexter Fowler. Lilly ready. Ted delivers. High fastball. And he runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Ted has had a wonderful career despite the liability of not being able to hold runners on. Fowler waiting, 2-1. Lilly ready, and here he comes. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. 2-2. Fowler has been getting deep in the count. He's 2-2 now. Dexter at 6'4", about 175 pounds. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count with a boy from Alpharetta, Georgia. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled back. Fowler, originally a 14th round pick by the Rockies. His dad coached youth baseball. His mom is an elementary school phys ed teacher. So Dexter waiting, just turned 25. And the 2-2 pitch with Young at second base representing the tying run. It's a breaking ball that's low, ball 3. 49 pitches made by Ted, so he got away cheaply enough. 23 the first 2 innings, 26 pitches here in the third. And the 3-2 pitch coming up. Lilly ready, here he comes, and the fastball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. That was really a perfect big league pitch to get Fowler, and he didn't have to look at Carlos Gonzalez. At the end of 2.5, 2-1 Dodgers. And Ted Lilly will start it off against Clay Mortensen, fouling it back in the count 0-1. Ted is 0 for 19. He has one sacrifice. So in 20 plate appearances, he has struck out only 5 times. Strike one pitch is a ground ball to Eric Young. EY picks it up and gets him. So with 2 pitches, Lilly is retired, 1 away, and the batter will be Jamie Carroll. Don't forget to follow the Dodgers with the MLB.com at Bat 11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. You get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. All right, Jamie Carroll has consumed a little time to let Lilly at least get close to the dugout. Jamie went 3-2 in the first inning and lined out to center. He hit the ball right on the button, but right at Dexter Fowler. So Jamie hitting .295. Mortensen over the top gets it in there for a strike. Boy, it's a lovely evening. Blue skies, some pink clouds just splashed all over the place. 0-1 the count. Now the strike one pitch on the way, and it's off the plate, 1-1. Like the master painter is cleaning his brushes by wiping them up against the blue. Sunset in Southern California. Something special. Mountains etched out there in center field. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Jamie looks at a strike. 1-2 the count. The Dodgers in the first inning with 2 out and Andre Ethier at first. Matt Kemp came up, hit his 13th home run of the year into the right field bleachers. Rockies got one back in the third, so we're 2-1 Dodgers. The pitch to Jamie Carroll, low and inside. 2-2 the count. The final game of the series, Ubaldo Jimenez, 0-5. One of the big shocks. He'll be on the mound tomorrow night against John Garland. 2-2 pitch on the way, fouled off. About a year ago, you may remember, Ubaldo Jimenez was 10-1. And here he is 0-5. So we'll see if the mystery continues tomorrow evening. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Here comes Mortensen, and inside to crowd the hitters. So for the second at bat, he goes 3-2 to Carroll. The Dodger who's enjoyed some at bats against Jimenez is Matt Kemp. He's hitting .344 against the big right-hander. 3-2 pitch is high, so Jamie Carroll makes him work, and this time it pays off with a walk on the 3-2 pitch. That would be the 3rd walk given up by Mortensen. Walk number 2 was given to Navarro, but then he got Miles to hit into the double play. 2 runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers, 1 run, 2 hits for the Rockies. And here's Casey Blake. He went 3-2 in the first inning and walked. So Mortensen has made 45 pitches as he looks in to get a sign, and Blake waits. Carroll off the bag, draws a throw, dives back. Jamie is 5 for 5 in stolen bases. So after watching Nelson steal 3rd, Young steals 2nd. We'll see if the Dodgers try to use their running game here as Casey Blake waits. Carroll, pretty good lead, held on by Heldon. Mortensen set, Clay ready. Now comes to his hitter and gets a strike. 0-1. Mortensen has walked 3. He does not have a strikeout. So he has walked 18 and struck out 21. So that's really doing a high wire act. 0-1 the count to Casey Blake. Andre Ethier on deck. Strike one pitch as Carroll leans a bit on his right leg but stays where he is, and Blake fouls it back. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. The end of May. Matt Kemp, in some ways, I'm sure, would like to keep May alive for a little while. 0-2 the count to Casey Blake. Mortensen very deliberate. Skinny right-hander set. Ready, comes back to Blake, and it's fouled away. But Casey is still there, 0-2, battling Clay Mortensen. Casey batting .303, 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. We told you earlier, when Mortensen gets 2 strikes on a hitter, he's really tough. The home run was hit on a 2-1 count. So here's the strike 2 pitch coming up to Casey Blake. Mortensen ready. Here he comes. Grounded foul outside of third, off the protective railing of the Dodger dugout. Boy, when you think back years ago, those dugouts were so vulnerable. There was no protective railing, and the boys really had to duck and move. Here, pretty much just duck. But there was a long time where the dugouts were wide open. 0-2 the count to Casey Blake. Mortensen ready. Right-hander very deliberate. There goes Carroll, and the pitch is hit just fair inside third and down the line. And that's going to stop dead as the ball apparently wedged in behind the tarp roller. And because it is in there, Blake gets the double, and the Dodgers have runners at second and third. Casey just did keep that thing fair as it bounced right over the bag by the diving Chris Nelson. So now the Dodgers have their big weapons coming up. Second and third with 1 out, and Ethier and Kemp. Andre Ethier hit into a force play. Hit the ball sharply to Todd Helton in the first inning. So Carroll down the line from third. Blake at second with 1 out. Dodgers trying to add to a 2-1 lead. Out of his stretch goes Mortensen. Right-hander deals way inside at the left ankle of Andre Ethier. Ball 1. So immediately with a runner at third, we check, and Clay Mortensen has 2 wild pitches. And you have Carroll at third and Blake at second, 1 away. Dodgers trying to win their 3rd in a row, and now they're going to walk Ethier intentionally, take their chances against Matt Kemp. So it pretty much makes sense when you look at the numbers and you see Ethier hitting over .380 against right-handers. Kemp, of course, can crush you, but at the same time, Matt's hitting .293 against right-handers. So in a moment, Ethier will go to first. The Dodgers have the bases loaded with 1 out. One other thing that would make sense in walking Ethier is the fact that Matt Kemp has grounded into 7 double plays. That would be high on the Dodger squad. So Tracy plays the percentages. We'll see how it works out. Dodgers have Ethier, Blake, and Carroll out on the lines. 1 out, leading 2-1. Matt Kemp has 5 grand slams as he waits at the plate. Mortensen ready, and the first pitch to Matt, and that's low and inside, ball 1. His last slam was against Colorado, in Colorado, against Ulysses Chassin. 1 ball and no strikes. Mortensen from a stretch. Looks over at third at Carroll. Now the right-hander ready in his 1-0 pitch. Run out, a ground ball through into left field. In comes Carroll. Here comes Blake. Throw to the plate. He is safe. And the Dodgers lead 4-1. And the Rockies will argue that Iannetta had gotten Blake. And Jim Tracy out to appeal with Angel Hernandez. on a ground ball base hit into left field. Tracy keeps pointing to the ground, indicating where he thought the tag was made. Gonzalez charging, came up and left-handed a strike to the plate. Coming in and getting by the tag is Blake, and Iannetta was arguing immediately. He thought he got Blake on the back before Blake's foot got home plate. So the strategy explodes the wrong way for Tracy, the right way for the Dodgers. Matt Kemp now has 4 runs batted in, and the Dodgers lead the Rockies 4-1. And for Matt, with 4 RBIs, that gives him 40. The throw was close, but it looked like Blake had beaten the tag, and that's exactly what Angel Hernandez saw. So KC sits alongside of Ted Lilly, talking about the play at the plate, I'm sure. Kemp is at first with Ethier at second, and here's Loney, and he takes off the plate. Ball 1. So the Dodgers with 2 in the first and 2 in the third lead the Rockies 4-1. Ethier walked intentionally, and Kemp, the cleanup hitter who is cleaning up with 4 RBIs. Mortensen again out of a stretch. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, a high leg kick but a full turn just to send Ethier back to the bag. Loney at the plate with Jerry Sands on deck. One ball and no strike. Loney hitting .247, flied to right field in the first inning. Dodgers 4 runs, 3 hits. Rockies 1 run, 2 hits. And Loney, a big bouncer to the right side. Young gets 1. Throw to first in time for the double play. But not before the Dodgers pick up 2 and leave 1. And at the end of 3, the Dodgers and Matt Kemp 4 and the Rockies 1. To you by Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. 4th inning with the Dodgers leading the Rockies 4-1 thanks to the bat of Matt Kemp. 2-run home run in the first inning and 2 RBIs on a bases loaded single in the third. 4 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 2 hits for the Rockies, and into the 4th we go. Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and Helton against Ted Lilly. Gonzalez grounded out in the first inning, 0 for 1. And a bunt in the air, foul, out of play. So Cargo trying to bunt his way aboard. Going into this series, He had been explosive against the Dodgers. 14 runs scored, 11 runs driven in. They quieted him a little bit yesterday, but he did have 2 hits and a walk. One ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez came into this game 4 for 6 against Lilly with 3 home runs, though he's 4 for 7. And another bunt. Lilly down to get it, has to hurry, and just did nip him at first base. So a nice play by Ted, and we have 1 away. Say, we have a text question for you tonight, especially remembering what happened to Buster Posey, the brilliant young catcher for the Giants, in that collision with Scott Cousins. Do you think Major League Baseball should ban collisions at home plate? Well, text your answer 86212 on your cell phone. There's quite a debate going on about that. 1 away, and here's Troy Tulowitzki. Fouled away. Tulo called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. 0 for 1, hitting .249. And of course, for the Rockies, let's face it, they're not going anywhere with Tulowitzki hitting under .250 and Gonzalez hitting about .260. I mean, they need some action from those men for sure. 0-1 to Troy. Very aggressive hitter. He rarely gets very deep in the count. Oh, and 2 the count. Tulowitzki has more walks than strikeouts, and he's been that way for quite some time. So Tulo waiting, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 of the richest young players in the game, Tulowitzki and Gonzalez. Tulo is going to be charged for strike 3. So he struck out twice, and we have 2 down here in the 4th inning. So there's the power plant, and you have Gonzalez trying to bunt for a base hit, and Tulowitzki striking out a 2nd time. So with 2 out, the batter is Todd Helton. Of course, the only comfort for everybody involved in this game, it is a long season. This is only the 54th game for Colorado and the 56th for the Dodgers. So with a 162 game schedule, pretty hard to jump to any conclusion. Todd struck out in the 2nd inning. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 5 strikeouts for Ted Lilly. One and 1. Breaking ball lifted to left. Jerry Sands is there. So a very quiet 1-2-3 here in the 4th inning. And at the end of 3.5 innings, Dodgers 4, Rockies 1.
Tonight's winning combination is 22, 28, 46. Enter now on KCAL9.com/clubhouse combo. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Bottom of the fourth inning, 4-1 Dodgers. Jerry Sands, Deanna Navarro, and Aaron Miles. Ground ball of the hole under the glove of Tulowitzki. Though Jerry has himself a base hit. He was batting .219. So Sands, single to left to go 1 for 2. For the Dodgers, their fourth hit. And the batter will be Deanna Navarro. Dodgers 4 hits and 3 walks plus an intentional walk. So a total of 4 hits and 4 walks. So here's Navarro. He walked in the second inning. Sands off the bag at first. Bottom of the fourth. And Sands goes, hit and run, drive to right. Going back to get it as Wigginton makes the catch, and Sands goes back to first base. The fly ball to right field, playing hit and run on the first pitch. And the batter will be Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles grounded into a double play in the second inning. Aaron hitting .265. As a left-handed hitter, is struggling in the 220s. Fastball in there. 0-1. Mortensen does not throw hard. By that I mean according to, major league fastballs. He's not throwing 95, 93. 0-1. Sands off the bag at first, 1 out. And a fly ball to deep right. Back goes Wigginton to the track at the wall. Can't make the play and then falls down. Jerry Sands is waved in. Fowler gets the ball into Young, who throws it all the way to the pitcher, backing up. And the Dodgers pick up a run and take the lead of 5-1 as Miles doubles to right. Wigginton, who played third base yesterday, unable to go back and make the catch. The Rockies, I believe, are going to appeal at third. Let's see, we're watching Nelson. I thought Nelson was going to ask for a throw. Here's Wigginton and Fowler coming over to pick it up. And now Nelson has gone back to his position. He was standing at the bag. So for Jerry Sands, he comes home on the double, and the Dodgers lead 5-1, and they'll begin to loosen up in the Rockies bullpen. Wigginton playing the outfield for the first time in 5 years. He's a little rusty out there and shaken up. That's ball 1. Remember Aubrey Huff, who was basically a first baseman, played a little right field against the Dodgers, and they kept finding him. The Miles doubles over Wigginton's head. The Dodgers score Sands. 5-1 Dodgers. Matt Belisle is up in the Colorado pen. 1 ball and no strikes. Ted trying to bunt and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lilly has 1 sacrifice as he looks down to check with Tim Wallach. Ted from Lomita, lives in Fresno, went to Fresno Community College, and trying to advance Miles. Still showing bunt. Now he's going to swing. 1-2. When Ted was growing up in Torrance, he was playing Little League by the time he was about 10 years old. Dodgers so far in the 2 games are taking Colorado to school. as far as runners in scoring position. 1-2. Ted swings, hits it back to the box. They'll get the out. Miles has to stay at second. And the batter will be Jamie Carroll. In the series so far, the Dodgers are 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and the Rockies are 1 for 13. Meanwhile, the Marlins are trying to snap the D-backs. The Marlins lead Arizona 4-1. Logan Morrison, who had a streak of reaching base last year of 42, came in here with a streak of 28, has just homered to stretch this year's streak to 32. Logan Morrison is the fellow whose other name is Justice. Remember? Justis. First name named by his dad, who wanted justice in the world. Got it. 1-0 the count to Jamie Carroll. Jamie 0 for 1. And ball 2. The big pitcher is having a lot of trouble with Jamie. He went 3-2 in the first inning, and Carroll lined out to center. He went 3-2 on Carroll and walked him, and Jamie eventually came around to score. Miles waiting for a lift home. 2-0 to Jamie Carroll. And ball 3. And Mortensen a little uncomfortable on the mound. Scraping at it now, doing a little housekeeping. And waiting on deck, Casey Blake. Three and 0 the count. That's in there. 3-1. So Mortensen came in with a fine earned run average of 2.8, but the Dodgers have touched them up for 5 in 3 2/3 innings, thanks to Matt Kemp, who has knocked in 4 of the 5. 3-1 to Jamie Carroll. And a drive to center. Fowler moving over to haul it in, and that's the inning. But the Dodgers get a single from Sands. Miles doubles him in. Wigginton a tough time in right field. And at the end of 4, 5-1 Dodgers. Cable and by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. 5-1 in favor of the Dodgers, 5th inning. To look ahead a little bit, just to give you an idea of what's up front for the Dodgers tomorrow, with Colorado, and that will be Ubaldo Jimenez and John Garland. Prime ticket at 7. Dodgers then hit the road, traveling on Thursday, and they open up with 3 with Cincinnati, starting Friday afternoon on prime ticket. Then Saturday afternoon on Fox, and Sunday back on Channel 9, KCAL 9. For the Dodgers, then they'll move on to Philadelphia, then play Colorado, and come home to play Cincinnati again. And earlier at the start of the year, the experts figured that June would be the toughest month for the Dodgers because, among other things, they play Cincinnati 6 times. But the Reds, who were out in front for quite a while in the Central, have suddenly slipped, and they're 4 back in 3rd place. That'll be a strike to get us underway. Ty Wigginton with that ball hit over his head. That double gave the Dodgers their 5th run. 0-1 to Ty. Now back. 0-2. Ty Wigginton, born in San Diego, but he lives in North Carolina. He went to the University of North Carolina in Asheville. He said as a kid he remembers going to a lot of Padres games, brought there by his dad. And down he goes. 6 strikeouts for Ted Lilly, and we have 1 out in the 5th inning. A reminder, you know, Don Mattingly bobblehead night. That's tomorrow night. Dodgers and Rockies, compliments of Carl's Jr. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866 Dodgers. Mattingly's bobblehead tomorrow evening. Here's Chris Nelson, who doubled, stole 3rd, and scored on a pop fly into shallow right field. Ball 1. Nelson, since being called up, just a couple of at bats, hitting .667. Lilly, like Mortensen, from the 3rd base side of the rubber. 1-1. Slow curveball miss. Nelson, 25. He'd be 26 in September. He was a #1 pick by the Rockies back in 2004 and came up briefly last year. Way out in front. 2-2. Chris said growing up he mainly played baseball. His dad wouldn't let him step on a football field. Said he never played basketball. He did play soccer, but he was very small then. Pops it up. It will be Loney for the 2nd out. Well, with 2 out in the 5th, Chris Iannetta coming up. Iannetta, coming into the game, was hitting .273 with a home run against Lilly in the past. Down in the bullpen, Matt Belisle gets up again. So if Iannetta gets aboard, we'll see about the pitcher, because Ryan Spilborghs comes out on deck. So Iannetta perhaps will determine the future of Clay Mortensen. And Belisle, who pitched briefly last night, might be called in. 1-1. Iannetta arguing on the close play at the plate involving Casey Blake. Had the good sense, however, to turn it off and stay in. 1 ball, 1 strike. At the knees with a good fastball at 89. 1-2 the count. One thing about Lilly, he is the consummate pitcher. He's not going to overpower anybody, but boy, he can go up and down, in and out with the best of them. breaking ball lifted to straightaway center. Kemp, plenty of room. And that would be that. They go 1, 2, 3 in the 5th inning. 7 in a row retired by Ted Lilly. And we're going to the bottom of the 5th. 5-1 Dodgers. Line is brought to you by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by 76 Gas, proud sponsor of the Los Angeles Dodgers. 76, we're on the driver's side. Well, here's a look at how our text message voting is going. Remember, we asked, do you think Major League Baseball should ban collisions at home plate? The early returns say that 92% of you say absolutely no. Text your answer to 86212 on your cell. For the Rockies, they make a double switch. Matt Belisle and Jonathan Herrera. Herrera plays third and bats ninth, and Belisle goes into Chris Nelson's spot. And Matt immediately gets a strike. Big fella out of McAllen, Texas, 6'3", 230. A Braves #2 pick in 1998. In there again. So he goes right after Casey Blake, and they count 0-2. One and two to Casey Blake. Belisle pitched the 8th inning last night. Last year he was in 76 games. So he's strong and holds up all year. The next one, strike 3 called. So Belisle, no nonsense, just came in and down he goes, one away. One of the problems that Diamondbacks have had, and that for Belisle is a strikeout, and the only strikeout they've had. Between Jason Hamill yesterday and Clayton Mortensen tonight, the Dodgers in 2 games have swung and missed only 4 pitches. They fouled off 46 pitches. Ground ball to Helton. He'll hang it for Belisle coming over, and quickly 2 down. We can also tell you that the Marlins are leading the D-backs 5-1. Gabby Sanchez hit his 9th behind Anibal Sanchez. Matt Kemp came up in the 1st inning with Andre Ethier aboard and 2 out, and drove one into the bleachers. His 13th home run, 9 of the 13 in his first at-bat against a pitcher. This time he came up in the 3rd inning and singled to left field to drive in 2, and the Dodgers took a 4-1 lead. They've added 1 more to make it 5-1, and Matt takes a strike. So Matt Kemp having a great start and hitting .385 against Belisle. 0-2. Matt against Matt Belisle, 5 for 13 with 2 home runs. 5-1 Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th in the dirt. Belisle might have gone in the first round except the second for the Braves, except he tore a knee ligament in his senior year in high school, so he dropped down a notch. That cost him a lot of money. You know, a first round pick, boy, he gets the golden pot at the end of the rainbow. Second round, still pretty high. You can get as much as, well, maybe under $2 million. One and two, fouled away. Matt Belisle, an important part of the bullpen, has won 4 games this year. He would be second in the league. Broad-shouldered 230-pounder. He was very big in scuba diving. Even though he's from Texas, he trained at Lake Travis in Austin to get his certificate. 1 and 2. 2 and 2. Belisle signed a 1-year deal in January. Basically, fastball, curveball, changeup. Snaps that fastball in there at 95. So he quiets the Dodgers in the 5th at the end of 5-1 Dodgers. In 1968, Don Drysdale with a string of pearls, 9th inning against the Giants, leading 3-0. The Giants load the bases with nobody out, and Dick Dietz is hit by a pitch. But Harry Wendelstedt said, no, you didn't make an honest effort to get out of the way of the pitch, so you stay right where you are. Then Dietz hit a little fly ball to left field. The runners had to hold. Ty Kleins came up, hit into a force play at the plate, and Jackie Hyatt flied to left, and Drysdale was out of the jam, had a shutout, 3-0, and went on from there. Let's go back to this one. Pretty hard to talk all about that historic moment, as Jonathan Herrera's already taken ball 1. 5-1 Dodgers, 6th inning. And a strike, 1-1. Herrera, at least for a while, has lost a regular status with the arrival of Eric Young and Chris Nelson. He had the right attitude, though. When asked about it, he said, hey, I'll do anything to help us win. And if it means coming in and out now and then, I'll take it. And here he is. Jonathan Herrera from Venezuela, Maracaibo, and promptly hits one into left field, base hit. So coming off the bench, hitting .271, Herrera singles to left.
Second baseman, number 1, Eric Young.
Now the first thing you want to do with Herrera is check, can he run? Well, in the low minors, he stole as many as 34. He had 2 stolen bases last year, and as Herrera takes his lead, he has stolen 4 bases this year, so there'll be more pressure on the vulnerable area of Ted Lilly, the stolen base. Fastball fouled away by Eric Young. EY fly to left, single to center, stole a base. Dodgers 5 runs, 5 hits. Rockies 1 run, 3 hits. Lilly has struck out 6. Great control, no walks. Ted's made 77 pitches so far. 1-1. Waiting on deck, Dexter Fowler. Ted came in with a record of 3-4, but a good record lifetime against Colorado, 5-2. 1-1. Little roller up along third. It'll go foul. 1-2. So Jonathan Herrera back to first base. Interesting, in 6 innings tonight, the Rockies have managed to get 2 leadoff men on. Yesterday, 7 consecutive leadoff men produced nothing. 1-2 to EY. Herrera draws the throw. Rockies trying to shake themselves. This month of May, they've lost 20 of 28. Boy, Lilly very deliberate and got it in there. So Eric Young can't believe it. He walks away. 7 strikeouts for Ted Lilly, and the batter will be Dexter Fowler. Then looking at Ted's career, his strikeout game would be against the Boston Red Sox. Way back in 2004, he was pitching for Toronto, and he struck out 13. So here's Fowler, grounded out, struck out, 0 for 2. Fastball missed. Ball 1. For the Rockies, they're trying to get Gonzalez and Tulowitzki up there with men on base. Gonzalez is 0 for 2 hitting back of Fowler without anybody on. Tulowitzki has struck out twice. Helton is 0 for 2 with the bases empty, and that's going to be a flare backhanded by Miles. Wonderful play by Aaron. Tough play for a little guy, and he was able to go up the ladder and make the catch. So Fowler losing a base hit on a fine play by Aaron Miles. Looked like it had a chance to drop, but he speared it. Not content, tried to double up the runner. So 2 out, Herrera at first, and here is Gonzalez. Grounded out in the first inning, tried to bunt his way aboard in the 4th, and bunted the ball right back to Lilly, who promptly threw him out. One ball and no strikes. They had a list in the paper of young players, by young not just in years but in games played, who got big contracts. You know, Gonzalez got a contract worth over $80 million, and he had played a little more than 300 games in the big leagues. and a towering foul ball, and that should wind up in the crowd, and it does. So just listen to this. Gonzalez, an $80 million deal after playing 300 games. Todd Helton, almost a $142 million deal after playing 500 games. Troy Tulowitzki, a $158 million deal after 550 games. Albert Pujols got a $100 million contract after 475 games. 1-1. Ball 2. 2-1. If you're thinking about Albert Pujols, he had a 7-year deal for $100 million after playing 475 games. 2-1 with Herrera at first, 2 out. 5-1 Dodgers. We're in the 6th. 2-2. Carlos hitting .259, 8 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Last year he got a Gold Glove. He also had 8 outfield assists besides all of the batting that he did. And for his defensible play, he won the Gold Glove. He also hit for the cycle last year. 2-2 the count. He does have 2 bunt singles this year when he tried to bunt last time up. Way out in front. So he strikes out for the first time. That's 8 strikeouts for Ted Lilly. And at the end of 5 1/2, 5-1 Dodgers. In the 5th inning. So now he'll have Loney, Sands, and Navarro to contend with. Meanwhile, Ted Lilly, through 6 innings, has made only 87 pitches. Dodgers 5 runs, 5 hits. They were helped by 4 walks and the inability of the starter Mortensen to get a strikeout. 2-0 the count. Loney flied to right, hit into a double play, hitting .246. And ground ball, base hit into right field. So James goes 1 for 3 as he singles to right. Hit number 1 off Belisle. Hit number 6 for the Dodgers. And the batter, Jerry Sands, hit fly to left and single to left. Jerry hitting .226. On deck, Deona Navarro. For the Dodgers, they're hoping that this series will be a turning point. That's a strike. Arizona is losing. The Giants lost. And the Dodgers are trying to beat Colorado. If they beat Colorado, the Dodgers then would climb over the Rockies, which is quite a trip in itself. Slow roller to short. Tulo back to second and to first in time for the double play. 6-4-3 DP. Loney tried to break it up, couldn't do it. Tulowitzki hurrying the ball to his second baseman, and then Ely upended but turned it anyway. For the Dodgers, that means they have grounded into 3 double plays tonight, but they're leading 5-1. And with 2 out, bases empty, here's Navarro. Ball 1. Navarro walked, and with Sands going in the 4th inning, he flied to right field. On the corner, 1-1. When the Rockies come up in the 7th inning, Tulowitzki, Helton, and Wigginton. Foul ball, and that went right behind Aaron Miles, who's the on-deck hitter. One and 2. And a high fly ball, but very playable. Fowler is at the other end of it. And that'll be that. Nice 2 innings for Matt Belisle to restore order. But at the end of 6, 5-1 Dodgers. Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By your Southern California Toyota dealers. And by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. 7th inning, 5-1 Dodgers behind Ted Lilly. It'll be Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton, and Ty Wigginton. Amongst them, they have struck out 4 times. Tulo twice, Helton and Wigginton once each. Ball one. When you see the really good, the outstanding players struggle, you know just how tough it is to play on this level. You wonder why so many players put up such great numbers throughout their minor league career, right up to AAA. And then they come to the big leagues. End of story. So those who not only get here but stay here, and then to see the really good ones struggle, wow, that's a strike. 2-1. Tulowitzki 6'3", 210, and another strike. 2-2. He has 11 home runs, 5 against left-hand pitching. Fouled away. Tulowitzki, like any really smart shortstop, does a lot of studying. And one of the things he has studied, all the players in the league, who comes in head first and who slides into second, who wears spikes. So if he's going to block second base, he knows I can do it against the guy coming in head first, not against the guy wearing spikes. Ball three. With thinking like that, he should have a very long career. And Troy first came up to the Rockies back in 2006. So he's working on it. 3-2. And popped it up. Casey Blake makes the play. Ted Lilly is really putting on a pitching study tonight. I think the highest he's hit on the gun would be 89. But it's just been a little of this, a little of that. Magnificent control while striking out 8. Here's Helton. He struck him out, and Todd also flied to left. 0 for 2. And a strike. The hits, Young leading off is 1 for 3. Nelson, who's now out of the game, the number 7 hitter, and Herrera, the number 9 hitter, and that's it. The big guys, you look at Gonzalez, Tulowitzki, and Helton, they've managed to hit one ball out of the infield. Helton hit a fly ball to left. So it has been a gem up to here. Little ground ball, Miles in front of it. 2 down. So Ted Lilly,
Ty Wigginton,
35 years old, about 6'1", 190. Originally signed by the Dodgers in 1996. But when he finally came up to the big leagues, he came up with Montreal. And now facing Wigginton. Big curveball, little high, ball 1. Ryan Spilborghs, for the second time to be a pinch hitter, he's out on deck. 1 ball and no strikes. 2-0. After Ted came up with Montreal in '99, he then went to the Yankees. And he was with the Yankees until he went to the Oakland A's in 2003. Then he went to the Blue Jays and the Cubs, and he's been with the Dodgers now 2 years. High fly ball into deep left center. Back goes Kemp at the wall, and no catch. The ball is still in the ballpark. Wigginton is on his way, but I think they're going to call it a home run. They are. Matt Kemp went crashing into the wall, And the ball apparently hit something beyond the wall and then kicked back onto the field. And Matt Kemp is going to run a freeway right through the wall in center field. So Lilly gives up the home run. And Ty Wigginton hit a home run yesterday and again tonight. Watch this. Up the wall. It goes over the glove, and then you see it hit the staircase and came back on the field. Kemp, meanwhile, thought he might make the catch. He's such a great athlete. Just missed it. And then as he takes the hard fall, the ball comes back. So Matt gave it his best shot for sure, but Wigginton has a home run, and the Dodger lead is 5-2. And here's Ryan Spilborg. 0-1 for Wigginton. That would be his 5th home run and his 2nd in 2 days. Oh, 0-1 to Ryan, hitting .258, fouled away. Ryan's from Santa Barbara, and by the way, for Lilly, that would be the 11th home run that he's allowed. Spilborg has 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in. And Lilly's in the dirt. Remember, we told you he has not thrown 100 pitches but once this year. He made 102 against the White Sox. And he has now made 103 tonight. De La Rosa and McDougal in the Dodger bullpen. The Spilborg's still up there. 1-2 the count to Ryan. Spilborg's hitting about .290 against left-hand pitching. 1-2. Fastball. That's the last thing that Lilly needs now, is one a foul ball. Ted trying to get the last out here in the 7th inning. 5-2 Dodgers. Fastball fouled away again. Spilborg, one of the few Rockies who've had a good May. He hit .354 this month. 1-2. Big curveball up. 107 pitches made by Ted Lilly. Lilly, by the way, due the bat second when the Dodgers hit in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2. Fastball fouled away. 8 pitches so far as Ryan Spilborg hangs tough, and he's had 5 foul balls against Lilly. Ted now 108 pitches. 2-2. Ball 3. So he's right on the edge of issuing his first walk. And on deck is the catcher, Chris Iannetta. Little restless moment for Don Mattingly. 3-2. Ground ball right where Blake is stationed. That'll be that. 1 run, 1 hit. The home run by Wigginton at the end of 6½. It's 5-2 Dodgers. And the crowd will now be asked to join and sing God Bless America and Take Me Out. turned in by Matt Belisle. So Daly getting ready to pitch to Aaron Miles, and it looks like the Dodgers will have Jay Gibbons bat for Ted Lilly, and then Jamie Carroll.
Hitting off the bottom of the seventh for the Dodgers, second baseman number 6, Aaron Miles.
So Miles, Gibbons, and Carroll. Ted Lilly turned in a gem for his 7 innings, allowing 2 runs, 4 hits, no walks, and he struck out 8. It was a textbook performance by the veteran left-hander, and now the Dodgers trying to hold on to it and or add to it with Aaron Miles. Matt Daly out of Queens, New York, 6'2", 175, signed as a free agent out of Bucknell. He'll be 29 in June. Belisle has a very strong, easy command out there on the mound, and then Daly is the other way. He's in a crouch and just suddenly then comes out of the crouch, and that's lifted to left center. Moving over is Cargo. 1 away. Ted Lilly, by the way, in that splendid 7, made 110 pitches
for the Dodgers. Batting for Lilly, number 31.
Now Jay Gibbons will bat for Ted. Lilly, while he was in there, went 0 for 2. The Dodgers have one big problem, and of course you know the shortage in the bullpen. If you take the 8th and the 9th innings so far in the 55 games the Dodgers have played, just take the 8th and 9th innings, the Dodgers have scored 25 runs in those 2 innings. The opposition has scored 68. Jay hitting .224, 1 home run, 5 runs batted in, and cuffs it into left field, and that's going to be a base hit. So Gibbons comes off the bench, singles to left.
Dodgers shortstop number 14, Jamie Carroll.
Hit number 1 off Daly. Hit number 7 for the Dodgers. Jamie Carroll going 3-2, lined out to center against Mortensen. Went 3-2 and walked and scored against Mortensen, and now he's facing Daly. Gibbons at first, 1 away. Ruby De La Rosa throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Ball 1. Daly, when he was a freshman at Bucknell, just about blew out his elbow. He had to sit out sophomore year, then studied abroad in Australia, where he kind of tested the arm in sandlot ball, and then by the time he was a junior, all of a sudden the arm seemed to come to life. 1 ball and no strikes. He was pitching against Arkansas in the NCAA tournament. A Cleveland Indian scout recommended he play summer ball, and that's when he realized, hey, I'm becoming a prospect. Eventually he got contract offers from 5 big league teams, and he faced a dilemma. Do I go back to college, or do I become a pro pitcher? Floats that in for a strike. Well, his brother, his father, and his mom discussed the situation, and then they left it in his hands. So wisely he thought, I want to go back to school. If baseball doesn't work out, I'll be all right. But at the same time, if I had taken the money and baseball didn't work out, I would have always regretted the decision. 1-1. A little low, ball 2. Finally, Daly earned his degree in accounting. Then he started to have shoulder problems, and he thought, uh-oh, now I've got another problem. But eventually it all came together, and he moved on to have a big league career. Been a pro since 2004. And that's going to go into left field. So Carroll comes up with a base hit. He's been on twice in his leadoff role with a walk and a single.
Dodgers third baseman, number 23.
Dodgers now
Casey
with
Blake.
8 hits, 2 on, 1 out, and Casey Blake the batter. Blake has walked, doubled to score a run, and struck out. Casey hitting .309. Ball one. There are so many ways to get hurt in this game. For Daly, he got hurt trying to back up home plate. An umpire had picked the bat up to throw it out of the way, and don't you know, he stepped on the bat and twisted his ankle. One ball and no strikes. And a high fly ball into deep left field. Back goes Gonzalez. It is gone. And the Dodgers now lead 8-2. Daly has given up 3 hits and 3 runs. And for Casey Blake, he drives it out for his 3rd home run of the year, and the 11 runs batted in, and not much doubt about that one. So 8 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, including 2 home runs by Matt Kemp and now Casey Blake. Daly working on Andre Ethier. Fouled right into and out of the dugout. So Blake homers with Carroll and Gibbons aboard, and the Dodgers get rich in a hurry. Waiting on deck, Matt Kemp. 0-1. Casey Blake was 1 for 2 against Matt Daly. One and 1. Ball 2. For the Rockies, when they come up in the 8th inning, they'll have Iannetta, Herrera, and Young. 2-1. Fastball on the corner. Ethier's hitting .327. Hit into a force play, walked intentionally, grounded to first. 2-2 to Andre. On the hands. The previous pitch, fastball on the outside corner, and then he came inside. So he's been outside, inside, outside again, and he goes all the way. Matt Daly. And for Jim Tracy, after beating the Dodgers twice in April, on the edge of losing twice in May. Ball 4 to Ethier. Dodgers have received 5 walks, and the batter Matt Kemp.
Dodger center fielder, number 27.
Matt Kemp hit that 2-run home run in the 1st inning, single to left to drive in 2 in the 3rd, and struck out in the 5th. So it's a big night. 13 home runs, 40 RBIs, hitting .314. Ball one. Matt Kemp coming into the game was hitting .293 against right-handers, but he's right up there now with all the big guys in the muscle department, home runs and RBIs. 1-1. When he swings and misses just like that, that's when you get the idea of the bat speed, and you can hear the crowd just go, ooh. It's really something to see. Matt Reynolds, a left-hander, begins to throw now in the Rockies bullpen. 1-1. That's a strike. 1-2. Matt with 4 RBIs tonight. His career high is 5, and he's done that 5 times. And that's going to be hit to right. Coming up for it is Wigginton to short hop it. He's got a force play at second base. So Matt Kemp with a flare to right loses a base hit, turns into a force play. 9-6 with Ethier erased. And the batter will be James Loney. And now Jim Tracy with his left-hander warming up in the bullpen. Matt Reynolds might very well make the change, and he has done just that. However, for Matt Daly, he has given up a big 3, leaves 8-2 Dodgers, and we'll be back. Because of the Buster Posey incident, do you think Major League Baseball should ban collisions at home plate? And 93% of you said no. Meanwhile, Matt Reynolds, the left-hander out of Knoxville, Tennessee, working on Loney, and ball one. Reynolds was signed in 2007. Does not throw very hard. Fastball, slider, a splitter, and a changeup. That's a strike. 1-1 to count. Interesting what's happening with the Dodgers now in the last couple of games. In the last 3 games, on 37 hits, the Dodgers have scored 23 runs in 3 games. The previous 8 games, they scored 24. So the offense has come alive. By the way, for Arizona, remember they had won 7 straight, 13 out of 14, 15 out of 17. Well, Florida put the end to that. They beat Arizona 5-2. Anibal Sanchez beat Ian Kennedy. Logan Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, both homered for the Marlins. Fouled away. Matt Reynolds facing James Loney. Loney is 1 for 3 against him in the past. He's a big fella, 6'5", 240 pounds. And a little fly ball. Wigginton puts it away, and that's that. However, you have the home run by Casey Blake, good for 3. And at the end of 7, as we take another look, Blake puts it in the pavilion. Dodgers lead 8-2. Reach to an 8-2 high as we go to the 8th inning. The front runners have fallen tonight. Arizona, San Francisco, and soon to be Colorado. And Ruby De La Rosa comes in. I wouldn't be surprised if several members of the Colorado Rockies look out at a kid named De La Rosa and think about their ace, Jorge De La Rosa, a 16-game winner 2 years ago, who's lost for the year with arm trouble. And a fly ball to right center, Efield. So Ionetta didn't hang around, 1 out, and the batter will be Jonathan Herrera.
Third baseman, number 18, Jonathan Herrera.
Ruby De La Rosa, called up from Chattanooga. It's a big jump, but he's got a lot of talent. He's in his 3rd game. He's allowed 1 run in 3 previous innings. And a strike. Herrera 1 at bat. That was in the 6th inning, and he singled a left. This time he hits it right at the shortstop, Jamie Carroll. So with just a couple of pitches, De La Rosa has retired 2. And the leadoff man, Eric Young, coming up. Young 1 for 3. Ruby, who spells that first name with 2 B's, he's 6'1", 170. He is all of 22, and he's from the Dominican Republic. Pitching in the rookie league for 2 years, and he has made the great jump from Double-A Chattanooga. De La Rosa has grown up to be 6'1" and 170 pounds. When he was 16, he was 5'7" and pretty thin. 0-2. De La Rosa signed with the Dodgers when he was 18 years old, and at the time, even though he weighed only 130 pounds, He actually hit 91 on the gun. Fouled away. Eric Young hitting .318, facing Ruby De La Rosa. He was the Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year last year in Double-A. He was 7-2 with an ERA of less than 2.5. And then in spring training, he caught everyone's attention when the opposition hit 161 against him. Fastball, slider, changeup. And a good slider for strike 3 call. Young thought it was high. He has struck out twice. That means 9 Rockies have struck out. And at the end of 7.5, 8-2 Dodgers. Rosa made just 8 pitches to dispatch the Rockies, striking out Eric Young, which brings up a point. Young was caught looking, and tonight the Rockies have struck out 9 times. 6 of the 9, the hitter has been caught looking. So here now is Jerry Sands, Deanna Navarro, and Aaron Miles against the left-hander Matt Reynolds, and ball 1. Sands fly to left, single to left, hit into a double play. Fastball strike, 1-1. His fastball has been clocked as high as 92, mostly 87. And there's a shot into right center, and Dexter Fowler right there. So Jerry Sands a buck short on that long fly ball, 1 away.
Catcher, number 30, Deanna Navarro.
And that'll bring up Deanna Navarro, who has walked, fly to right, fly to center, 0 for 2. The paid attendance tonight, 31,473. 31,473. And a strike. Navarro, switch hitter, turning around to hit right-handed, 0 for 2. That's on the corner, 0 and 2. Navarro 0 for 5 as a right-handed batter. Fastball hit down to short. Tulowitzki, plenty of time, 2 down. When the Rockies come up in the 9th inning, they'll have Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez, and Troy Tulowitzki. And if anybody gets on, Todd Helton and Jim Tracy now with Miles, the switch hitter, coming up, And Jim's going to dip into the bullpen again and bring in Houston Street, and we'll be back. Houston Street a little work. Street's been in 25 previous games. He has walked 4 while striking out 24. Houston out of Austin, Texas. He was an all-conference star, but his father was even better in college. His dad was an all-conference pitcher and a quarterback who led the Longhorns to a Cotton Bowl win back in 1970. So Houston Street, he is 28 years old. He was a first-round pick by the A's out of the University of Texas. And that's stroked and gloved by Eric Young. So the Dodgers finished in the 8th, and we head to the 9th. Dodgers 8, Rockies 2. Chance to receive the Dodgers Ultimate Giveaway Plan is tomorrow. You can enjoy 8 games, 10 giveaways, including all 5 remaining bobbleheads, 2 fleece blankets, a Dodger sports bag, a beach towel, and the purple and gold cap. Starting at $12 a seat per game, and for more information, call 323-224-1365 or go to Dodgers.com/mini-plan. Ninth inning, De La Rosa facing Dexter Fowler. Starts him with a strike. Dexter grounded to third, struck out, looped out on a nice catch by Aaron Miles in the sixth inning. 1-1. Dexter hitting .243. Tomorrow night, John Garland for the Dodgers. Ubaldo Jimenez, the big question mark in the National League, will be on the mound for the Rockies. Jimenez with a record of 0-5. Remember how he started last year, going 10-1. Wow. 2-2 on a fastball low and in. The fastball, by the way, right at that right kneecap. So Fowler all legs. Boy, Ruby working on that gum. 2-2. Just blew him away. That's the second strikeout for De La Rosa. It also marks the 10th Rockies to strike out. And the batter, Carlos Gonzalez, grounded out, tried to bunt his way aboard, and struck out. The only regular, talking about not striking out, but actually everybody who has gone the distance has struck out at least once. So for Tracy, another frustrating game, although I think yesterday's game was even worse for him with all the leadoff men getting aboard. Meanwhile, Houston Street and Chris Iannetta talking about the problems in this game. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. Rockies are on the edge of losing their 3rd straight. Dodgers ready to win their 3rd in a row. Todd Helton due up 4th. And for Mattingly's club, they will suddenly be 4.5 games out. 2-2 to count to Gonzalez. Carlos hitting .258. Breaking ball stayed up. 3-2. He's been throwing in the mid to high 90s, and that little breaking ball was 83. Fastball. You know, his fastball has actually been clocked anywhere from 95, which was that one. He's actually hit over 100 on the gun. He has a slider and a changeup. 3-2. Fastball, and Mr. Miles at the end of it. So with 2 down in the 9th inning, the batter will be Troy Tulowitzki. And going all the way back to the 3rd inning, where the Rockies scored their first run. Since the 3rd inning, they've had only 2 hits, a single by Herrera and the 2-out home run by Ty Wigginton. So they've just stopped dead in the water. Tulowitzki hitting .246. Fastball, strike. Tulo has struck out twice, fouled out, 0 for 3. 10 Rockies have struck out so far tonight. 0-1. Tulowitzki with 11 home runs, 31 runs batted in. And that's going to go down the left field line, and it's going to be a fair ball going to the box seats. And jogging into second goes Troy Tulowitzki. That's his 10th double of the year. And it comes with 2 out in the 9th inning.
Tom Helton.
So Todd Helton will come up. De La Rosa surrendering his first hit, and that would be hit number 5 for the Rockies. Helton has struck out, flied to left, grounded to second, hitting .309. Dodd came into the game hitting .330 against right-handers. 0-1. Same old Helton, remarkable player. When you look at his numbers, over 2,200 hits, over 1,200 runs scored, 330 home runs, etc. And he has piled up all of that before playing 2,000 games. He has played in 1,976 games. He's been the franchise player in Colorado. 0-1 the count to Todd. Tulowitzki at second, 2 out, 8-2 Dodgers. At 95 fastball, and the count 0-2. The young Ruby De La Rosa in his third game in the big league. Dodger hoping to get Padilla back very, very soon. No balls, 2 strikes. $31,473 here tonight. Hope you make your plans. Be with us tomorrow night, the final game of the homestand. John Garland, Ubaldo Jimenez. Dodgers will not be back home until the 13th of June, and they'll play Cincinnati, Houston, Detroit, and the Angels, all at home. 1-2. Fastball. Todd just did get a little bit of that. Well, Mattingly doesn't have Broxton. He doesn't have Quo. He doesn't have Padilla. He hasn't had Hawksworth. And he's getting by. Ruby De La Rosa. Two and two. On deck, Ty Wigginton. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Curveball lifted to left. Sands coming to the line, and that's that. So in the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit and 1 left. The Dodgers 8 runs, 9 hits and no errors. The Rockies 2 runs, 5 hits and no errors. The winning pitcher is Ted Lilly. The losing pitcher is Clay Mortensen. And among other things, Matt Kemp had 4 RBIs and Casey Blake had 3. So the Dodgers have now won 3 in a row, and they move up a little bit. Just what we guessed might happen. Those in front are starting to come back. Arizona lost, the Giants lost, Colorado loses, and the Dodgers now are moving right into the thick of things. Don't forget tomorrow night, Garland and Jimenez. Until then, wish you all a very pleasant good evening.